more than a century, Parle Products has been a household name, creating brands like Parle-G, like Hide and Seek, like Mango Bite, and the recently trending Melody. Behind the success of these mega brands in India is, of course, one man, Mayank Shah. He's joining us today on ET Now. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now.
Pleasure.
And what a journey it has been for Parle-G. I remember passing via Ville Parle and, like just the smell in the air, like, would make you go ahead, go to the store and pick up a pack of Parle-G. And what a rich history for and you've created some of the country's biggest success stories in FMCG. Mayank, give us a perspective on, the journey ahead now that, so many of your brands have achieved so much.
Yeah. So, I think it has been a great journey since our inception, 1929. We've been able to craft some really great brands. Today, if I talk about the kind of brands that we have about, 4 brands which are more than 1,000 CR and about 4 brands which are more than 500 CR. So it has been a great journey of last almost about 95 plus years now. And some great learnings as well, throughout the journey. But to my mind, I think the most important thing in last 95 years journey has been that, Parle has transcended the boundary. Parle as a brand has transcended the boundary of ownership from, let's say, owners to the consumers. What we're seeing today is that, most of our brands are more of an emotion than just, a regular brand, any other brand.
Right, and we witnessed something like that during the very recent Melody moment that happened. What was that moment like for Parle Products, and did you leverage on it at all?
Of course we did. So I think, it was a pleasant surprise for us. So while we all know that Honorable Prime Minister, has this knack of promoting Indian products, Swadeshi products globally, and he always gives, state to Swadeshi products.
Yeah.
I think that was our day.
Yes.
He was really, very honestly, kind enough to give opportunity to our brand to be showcased to the world. And I think, the kind of buzz it created around the brand and the corresponding, the kind of, offtakes that we saw around that time, and even today, I mean, it continues. So we see that effect is something that's testimony to the fact that, this is one brand that's being loved by Indian consumers.
Right.
Not just Indian consumers. Today, we are getting inquiries from across the globe for that particular brand.
Right. And some of these, viral moments that some of your products have seen over the past couple of years are something that FMCG companies and even big brands die to have, and these are accidental viral moments. In fact, Melody is trending this week as well during the entire, the entire Cockroach Janata Party protest that is happening in Delhi. So how do you build around some of these viral moments, which are, many a times curated by big organizations?
So when our Honorable Prime Minister gave it to the Prime Minister of Italy, Miss Meloni, initially, I think, we were not ready to believe it. We thought it to be any other, AI-generated kind of thing. But, as we saw it, being picked up by multiple news channels and stuff like this, when we got really into it. We have, leveraged it in terms of promoting it digitally. We did press ads. There was outdoors which was done around it. We're also coming up with a special edition of Italian flavor of Melody. It's Italian tiramisu. So tiramisu, Italian flavor. We're coming up with. So I think, a lot of things that we did around that moment to leverage that particular moment. And I think that has done really wonders for the brand.
Right, right. You mentioned that 4 brands have already crossed that 1,000 crore mark, and there are 3 more?
4 more.
4 more, which are on the way to become like a 1,000 crore brand. Which are these 4 brands, and which one you think will be the fastest to cross that 1,000 crore mark?
The 4 brands which are, on the way to achieve 1,000 crore mark, which are more than 500 today, are Hide and Seek, Monaco, Magix, and Melody.
Right, right, right. And which one do you think will cross it the fastest? You think? In the coming
To
days?
my mind,
Is
I
it
think
Melody?
it would be the Hide and Seek that would be.
Hide and Seek.
Yeah, crossing,
Hide and seek.
the 1,000 crore mark.
Is it also because there is a large premiumization trend in the FMCG sector, and Hide and Seek is sort of like a premium offering or value-added offering from Parle Products?
We launched Hide and Seek in 1996. And
Right.
I think, that was a big decision then.
Right.
A company which was known back then for value products, primarily selling products which were, largely priced at around 2, 3, 4, 5 rupees, was coming up with a product which was premium in
Right.
nature. It was also very novel.
Right.
So, very innovative. It was the first molded chocolate chip cookie.
Right.
You have wire cut cookies which are chocolate chip, and it's easy to make it, but it's very difficult to make a molded chocolate chip cookie, and we did that. It was the first molded chocolate chip cookie and first molded chocolate chip cookie, not just in India, I think globally. We were a little skeptical initially, but when we saw the response, it got amazing response. So that reaffirmed our belief, in Indian consumers. So if you talk about Indian consumers, like most would like to believe, are not really price sensitive. They are very, very value conscious.
Yeah.
So it's not that they would always go for the lowest price thing. They would like to go for something that delivers the best value, even if it means paying more for the same product. If it's delivering the value, they're ready to pay for that. And that was a great learning which came out of Hide and Seek. So, even if you price it high, but if you're delivering that value, I think the Indian consumer would lap it up.
Right.
So we started that with 1996, and what we have seen, coming to your question, is today if we talk about the value market, it's growing. In absolute terms, it's growing. The premium market is also growing.
Right.
What we are seeing is that, the repertoire of Indian consumer is widening. The basket of consumption is widening. So there is a growth that's happening across spectrum.
Right.
You'll see growth coming in from value products. You see growth being driven by premium products. And there is a mid-market, or populars as we call it here internally in Parle. All 3 of them are really driving the growth.
Right.
What's really helping, drive this growth, of course, is the change in demography, improvement in income levels, and most importantly, I think, if you talk about the per capita consumption of Indians, despite of India being the largest biscuit market
Right.
in terms of per capita consumption, we are way below the Western countries.
Right, right. But at this point then, how do you safeguard your market share, given the fact that, many of the other rival companies are also coming up with these value-added offerings with premium products? Many chocolate players are getting into your, arena. So how do you guard the market share then? What is it that you do differently at
So
Parle
what we have
Products?
been able to do very differently, in this category is that we've been able to establish or create categories rather than, create brands. We've created categories, and there are amazing examples of it. There's nothing like a sweet and salty cracker globally. CrackJack was the first one. Okay, we are able to identify a consumer need, offer a great value there, and made it available on a scale along with a great quality.
Right.
So that's something that really worked very well for CrackJack. Then everybody has tried to copy it.
Right.
There is a adage that goes in internally in Parle that, most of our products are copied or imitated, but they are never equaled
Yeah.
in the market. And there are multiple examples of it. Hide and seek is another classic example. I talked about the chocolate. There are multiple chocolate chip cookies today in market, but nobody has been able to rival or even come close to what hide and seek is.
Right.
Cheeseling, classic example. There are many who have tried to replicate, imitate cheeselings. Nobody has been able to, do that. It's a very unique product. Talk about Monaco. That was the first salted cracker in India. People are trying it, but there is no match to Monaco. So we've been able to come up with some really great products which have created categories. We've
Right.
created those categories, and that's something that helps us maintain our lead in the market.
Absolutely. Mayank, let's also speak about price a little bit at this point in time. Tremendous cost pressures for the entire FMCG sector due to, of course, raw material, issues and, supply chain issues because of the ongoing West Asia crisis. Of course, delayed monsoon has just added to the woes of the FMCG companies, so to speak. So how are you managing some of these cost pressures, managing, ensuring that they don't get passed on to the consumers? And has it had any impact on the marketing budgets at all over the past couple of weeks?
Okay.
Or will we see it in the coming days?
Yeah. So for a company, which is always ensure that it delivers the best value to consumer at a particular price, I think it's of paramount importance to ensure that, they get things at the best possible cost, so as to ensure that you don't have to pass on the increase in cost to the consumers.
Right.
Now that's something that's not a one department phenomenon. A price at Parle to the consumer is a company promise. It's not a departmental promise. It's not a marketing thing where I say, okay, marketing will promise this great price to consumers. No, that's a promise that company has made to its consumers.
Right.
And the entire company works together to ensure it. So right from sourcing or procurement to probably ensuring that the production happens in a way where the cost of, freight, the cost or average kilometer a pack travels to ensure that you have the minimum cost of freight, the entire chain is being, very closely looked into, and we ensure that, we are on top of the game as far as procurement is concerned, as far as conversions, efficiencies are concerned, or as far as logistics are concerned.
Absolutely. We spoke about, how you have some of the most iconic brands in the country. Like, of course, there was a phrase while I was growing up, neighbors envy, owners pride, and it totally applies to Parle Products. But as you're targeting the next phase of growth, and I know that Parle Products is a privately owned company, what are the strategic priorities going forward? What are the key decisions that you guys are taking right now?
So two things, before I answer that question, what I would like to, probably give you a little bit of background is that we talked about, great brands that we have 4,000 crore plus, 500 crore plus brands
Right.
that we have. Now, what is important, and that probably will help me answer your question, is that, we need to understand how they were, built. I mean, it's a playbook, that we have been able to work on, which have made these great brands. So a great thing about these brands and what we are very proud about is, these brands are built by us. They're not as a result of some mergers or acquisitions or some portfolio buys. They're completely organic. Right. They are organically built. Now that's really a big thing. Building, and it's not one brand. See, when you talk about 1,000 crore brand, it's an achievement. When you talk about so many brands which are this big, then I think, you've been able to master a process, a system. Having mastered that, I think, and this is done across, decades. So Parle-G, a flagship brand, was launched in pre-independence time. You talk about another brand, CrackJack, that was pre-liberalization. Talk about hide and seek was, just post-liberalization. Early 2000s, we came up with 2020. Later in 2000, I mean, I'm talking about 2010, 15, We came up with Happy Happy. All of those brands are really very big brands, and they've come at different time. And what we've been able to do is we've been able to really replicate success across all these brands.
Joining us for a special chat today on ET Now, we have Deepak Chhabra, who's the MD of Timex India. And along with him, we have a powerhouse actress, Sharvari Wagh, the new face of Daniel Wellington. Thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. Sharvari, let's begin this conversation with you. The new face of Daniel Wellington. Tell us more about this association.
Firstly, thank you so much for such a warm welcome. You know, it's a collaboration that I thought was really naturally fit to my personality, especially because, you know, I really feel like as an actor, we have to put ourselves in these different roles wherein you have to play, versatility is most important, you know, and I believe that, and I always gravitate towards roles that are different from one another. But at my core, I'm myself, you know, like I'm truly just me. And, you know, I really feel like with Daniel Wellington, their watches go with everything. They're absolutely versatile, just like the kind of roles that we have to play. But their identity is just timeless. And I aspire to be that as well. So I think that it was a really natural fit for me.
Yeah, more than timeless, I must tell you about something that he said before you came in and joined this conversation when I was briefly chatting with Deepak. And he said that, you know, Daniel Wellington is known for being minimalistic
Correct.
and being so classy looking. And, you know, the choice was very simple for, you know, Timex to rope you in as an ambassador for Daniel Wellington. So tell us more about, you know, this you know, something that Deepak said, in fact.
I mean, I think that's the best compliment because now basically I've gotten a compliment.
Are you minimalist? Are you as minimalist as
I am? No,
yeah.
I really am. I am someone who really believes in pieces that I can wear at multiple occasions. Something that I can keep with me. Something that I can rewear. Something that you can even share with your mom and your sister. I really love that. And I really think that Daniel Wellington is the kind of brand that everybody associates with in that sense, you know.
Right.
It is simple, clean, classic. I think it's super chic. I believe that my personal style also is an extension of something like that.
Right.
I like to keep things simple. I like to keep them chic. And I really feel that when I do that, I feel most confident, you know, about myself. If I'm in an interview, if I'm walking the red carpet, it's important for me that I feel confident.
Yeah.
And so when you have accessories that kind of help you feel like that, and I feel watch is the most confident accessory.
Absolutely.
Like if I had to give it an adjective, I would say that it's the most confident. You wear it and you're feeling like you can take over the world. So that's the feeling I get when I wear a Daniel Wellington watch.
I'm going to ask you more questions about watches and time and so on and so forth. But Deepak, let's talk shop. Daniel Wellington's acquisition was globally completed by Timex, you know, very recently, in fact, you know, just a few days ago, 2 weeks ago. What does that enable for Daniel Wellington in India and for Timex in India?
Sure. So we have a portfolio of about 15 brands.
Right.
And what was missing in the portfolio was a true minimalistic Swedish brand, very frankly. When you look at luxury indulgence nowadays, it's no more loud and you know, bold. It is more of classy and settled. Yeah. And that was the gap which we had in our portfolio. We do have brands like Guess and Versace, which are very loud and bold.
Right.
A different consumer set.
Right.
So we realized that we need to add in our portfolio a brand which is a bit more minimalistic and cater to that consumer as well, while we are catering to other consumer set by our other brands. We do have Aston Martin, which we added about 6 months back because, you know, a sports brand was missing.
Yes.
In particular, motorsports was missing. Motorsports has become so big.
And I believe it sold out in a couple of months.
We never expected India will accept the brand, lap it up. But then we realized, you know, India has about 6 million fandom.
Right.
For Formula One, which is a paid subscription, on the weekend.
Wow.
People don't want to really pay. And it has moved from 2.9 million about 4 years back. So, so we filled that gap by addition of Aston Martin. Now, the only gap, although we had DW for the longest time, but it was 51% you know, joint venture with Philip, who's the promoter of this. But we had a choice to acquire it, and that's what we did about 3 weeks back. India is going to be a major market for Daniel Wellington growth. And we knew now we are ready. I was telling Shivri, now we have a product which is way wider than ever before, catering to different consumer set. The brand was more of women. Now we have a reasonable assortment for men. We have settled our channels, so it is available at 300 point of sale.
Right.
Now what you need is, now you need consumers.
Right.
And consumers will only come when they rate to the brand, and that's where the endorsement makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And Shivri is a perfect fit, amazingly perfect fit. I was telling, for 2 years we have been talking about endorsement. We delayed it because we wanted to acquire the company first and put the product right and channel right. But all these 2 years, it was always Shivri.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not that,
That's so kind of you.
The company had the eye.
It was not that.
They had the eye on you.
Yeah.
And we were worried a bit because, the watches segment has all the celebrities. Every brand laps up a celebrity, and we thought if Shivri goes, then what?
Yeah.
Thankfully, we are here today
She didn't. She's
being together.
It was meant to be.
She is Daniel Wellington's now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sharvari, what is your personal style in watches? Do you like sporty watches? Do you like, the feminine ones, the thin, the slim ones? What is your personal style in watches?
The one that I'm wearing today is genuinely my most favorite style. I love a black dial, and when I saw this, I had to pick it for today because even when I was in college, I remember I'd gone hunting because I wanted a black dial.
Right.
Something, there's always something that you have in your mind. Maybe you see it in a movie or you maybe see it in a magazine and then you want that specific one. But I've always been this person who loves like a metal watch with like a nice colored dial.
Right.
That's, I think, my kind of style. I think it's something you can wear day and night. So it's kind of fun.
Right. And Deepak mentioned that, there is some or the other Bollywood and Hindi film cinema celebrity associated with a watch brand, but Hindi film actors are notoriously known for running late for everything. They're notoriously late, aren't they? Are you punctual or are you running? How important is punctuality for you?
Honestly, I'm really genuinely very punctual. Also because I was an assistant director before I was an actor, and I was an assistant director on 3 films.
So you know the pain of the actor running late.
I know the pain. And so I'm very paranoid. You can ask my team, I stress them out. Like if I know that they are not going to finish in 10 minutes and we've promised to be in 10 minutes, I'm hyper. I'm this person who's like, no, kitna time lagega, abhi chalo, and everyone's like, relax, you can be 5 minutes late. And I'm like, no, I can't. I have to be on time. So I'm a very paranoid person when it comes to time. I'm a person who puts like 5 alarms, so I'm on time everywhere.
I can vouch.
She is not just classy minimalist, but she is also punctual. So she's making the right use of the watch, unlike many others.
So maybe I'll just add to it. We were talking about the shoot day.
Right.
She was there before we were prepared. Yeah. She remained there till the time the job was done.
Right.
Today also she came on time.
Right.
We were not on time. We were not ready. So I really understand. But more important is, if you do not stick to your time, being with the watch industry becomes difficult.
Right.
You are keeping time, and if you are not on time, it's difficult. So I can vouch for it.
Absolutely.
My team was asking when should we call our other participants, maybe an hour later. So Deepika, who heads our marketing, she said, listen, she'll be on time. And she was on time. So it's important for it's a respect.
Yeah. No,
Very frankly, it's just more to do with respect.
I believe
if you don't respect time, that doesn't go well.
No, it's the most expensive commodity, We're all so busy and everybody has so much to do in their personal lives, their professional, in their professional time. I really feel that it's important that, we respect each other's time and we're just able to then be on time and just have a great time. Wow, I've used time like some 5 times.
Yeah.